Well, it really is, it's jolly wet. I don't know what the digging is going to be like, but I'm going to stick to higher ground and see how we get on. It's very old pasture, all this up here. This field I've only really found Georgian and lots and lots and lots of buttons. You know, they're all at a bit of depth. So it's quite fun finding these tiny things because it shows you that the old Deus is working well. Anyhow, I'm going to run the hot program with the reactivity lowered to 2.5 or even maybe 2. And we'll see how we get on. Parts of the country are really flooded, but here in North Wales, down the road it's not so good. But it's all right here, even though it's jolly cold. Well, now I've come a bit higher. You can see the snow on the hilltops there. It's so pretty round here. Anyway, I've got quite a nice signal here. There's a lot of coke in these fields. That's why the deep program running on Deus Lite without the remote is a nightmare. On this higher ground, it's not too soggy. What we got? Hooray, our first button. Still got it silvering on it. Gosh, it's really just too wet. All the rain from the last 2 days. It's like digging in a swamp. There's a lot of coke in this ground that could easily be just coke. Well, that's much less cokey now, that's not coke. Gosh, it's quite deep too. A lot of lead in these fields as well. It's an old iron buckle. You can be forgiven for mistaking those for something better. Do you see? I mean, at a foot, that could easily be something half good. You know what? It's stunning around here. It's absolutely beautiful, but it's cold, it's windy, it's really wet, and I'm going to call it a day. But I'm going to keep this as a preface to another video because it's so lovely being somewhere so beautiful, which is not always the case. Anyway, well, that was filmed in Wales about a week ago. And there it's seen as being okay to exercise while metal detecting or the other way around. Back in England, that's not the case. There's a blanket ban on metal detecting, and it's upsetting certain people because things like fishing, for example, have been allowed to go ahead. But it shouldn't actually be about the hobby itself or the pastime itself. It should be about a risk assessment of what that involves. And if fishing means you're getting in your car and you're driving to a lake where other people will be, and you're probably going to be touching things like gateposts, etc., that other people will touch, then that actually shouldn't be allowed, in the same way as metal detecting rallies should not be allowed. But to completely ban it on private land, especially in areas which literally border where you live, and you simply have no chance of coming into contact with anyone or touching something that they might touch, then it is very annoying that we're not allowed to do that. It's unfair on certain people, but life isn't fair. Some people will have to drive to their metal detecting permissions, but if that's the case, then that's bad luck. There are certain things they may be allowed to do which other people may not be allowed to do. The point is that it is getting a lot of us, including myself, quite hot under the collar. And I've seen a lot on YouTube and other forms of social media of fairly self-righteous people getting their bees in bonnets. The last video I made of being out with my dog for all of 3 minutes received quite a lot of bad feeling, and that really surprised me because nothing could have been more innocent. And the very thought that hundreds of metal detectorists are going to go out because I was seen to be seen as doing it myself is complete and utter rot. Anyway, let's hope this doesn't last too much longer and that we can all get out again. But it's a shame we're not allowed to use our common sense, but as a nation we have been shown to have very little of it, and therefore I completely understand the government's blanket ban on things like metal detecting. They're far too busy to dot the I's and cross the T's on things like that. It's much easier just to put a complete finish on it all and then have done with it. And those who are getting upset about feeling that other people are doing it, well, they're not. That's just bad luck. They're not obeying the rules and you are. But there's no point in getting all hot and bothered about it, especially if they really are, and we all know it, in the majority of cases, doing absolutely no harm. Anyway, rant over. And it's not very nice out there today, so I wouldn't want to be detecting anyway. Right, next week I'm collecting this chest of drawers from the restorer. As I've done in a previous video, this is the really lovely cabinet that I keep most of my really, really nice finds. Not the top level, but anything which I'd like to sort of show off slightly. HolzHammer coins. Annoyingly, the one with all my decent Roman coins, I've dropped it and the top smashed. So I'm going to have to get this restored as well. But meanwhile, the one I've got with the restorer at the moment is going to be really smart, and I'm going to have masses of space. Not before time, as I've got a lot of stuff to go in it. This is a bag of everything I want to keep from what I found before Christmas. Again, it's not the really good stuff, as I wouldn't shove it all together in a plastic Tesco's bag, but it's stuff which needs to find a home. Let me just close this. I've lost the key to this, annoyingly, hence I've got to jam it with that. Right, let's just take out a handful and see what we've got. Okay. Another handful. Right, coins, buckles, crotal bells, Roman fibula. That's quite nice. That enormous bit of crotal bell I found the other day. Couple of keys, medieval strap end. All sorts of bits and pieces that need to find a home. Don't know what that is, if anyone can tell me. Another wonky fibula. That's rather a nice crotal bell. Anyway, hopefully, come the end of next week, I'll have my cabinet and we can start filling it up with all this stuff. That's just, that's about a tenth of it. Buttons. What's that? Oh, I love this. It is a piece of a rim of a pot or something, and it's got the bronze or copper alloy, whatever it might be, bit there, which would have held the chain or whatever it was to carry it with. I've never found that before. Anyhow, we'll leave that there and have a quick look at some of the better stuff. Right, let's have a look at these quickly. These bits and pieces. I really like this. This is a Roman brooch with a really nice design on it. I don't know the date, but it's one of the ones with the casing round the spring system. This was completely bent over when I found it, and I've been gently easing it back until a rather nasty flesh wounds opened up there, and I don't dare do any more because I think I'm going to break it, so I'm going to leave that. Rather a lovely thimble. I think that's quite early, the way the the dots are sort of done round it. Really nice livery button. There's another really nice livery button here. I love that. This one's got sort of oak leaves on it. Now, this is really quite special for me. This is, I think, a William II cut half, which makes it probably the earliest bit of post-Saxon silver I found. And on that note, I haven't found any Saxon silver. It's the top of my bucket list is a skeet, but I've not found one yet. And I thought that might be one when I dug it up. Another little cut half in quite nice condition. A full one. All these lovely coins are going to find their place in the new cabinet. Bits of buckle. I can't throw these away, especially when they're like that. It's got a really lovely design to it. So there'll probably be a section or a drawer just for buckle fragments, nice buckle fragments. And on that note, there'll be another drawer for nice little buckles. I love these. So fine. Look at that one. So fine. How that hasn't been damaged by the plough, I have no idea. Another Roman coin, Carausius. I find a lot of those around here. Now, these little hoops. I love hoops. I can't believe, I mean, these must have age to them. Look at me, that's got a line down there. It's all wonky. I mean, I've been rubbing this, so that's why it's got such nice patina on it. And that one as well, all wonky. I mean, they say they could be anything, and they're probably something to do with horses, but these ones, when they're like that, I absolutely love them. Some Georgian coins, another buckle, another hammy. This is quite nice. I don't know how old it is, but it's got, I think it must be a button, mustn't it, obviously. But I love all that silvering on it. So that would have been really grand at one point. If anyone knows what that is, please let me know. This is a lovely little hoop. Look at the way it's sort of it's got a sort of chamfered inside to it, which makes it sort of meet, it's not biconical, but it's, I mean, that's got to have some age to it. Anything else? Pilgrim Ampulla, which was identified from one of my last videos. Thank you, whoever that was. A lovely Domitian Roman coin. I really like this. I think this is the best Roman coin I've ever found. The detail on it is just spectacular. It's Constantine, and it's still got the silvering on it. I really like that. So all these bits and pieces are going to find their way, and bagfuls more. While we're here, very quickly, these are the three main types of fossil I find. The belemnites, the Griffea. Look at the size of that. I don't know what's going on here, but I've never found one with all that going on inside it. That's a really nice one. That's the best one I've ever found, actually. A scallop. We don't find that many of those around. And of course the echinoids, lots of those. He's rather a nice one. And I found a couple of these recently. Don't know what they are. I mean, I don't think they're fossils. I think they're some sort of... well, I don't know is the answer. So if you do, please tell me. Anyway, let's hope they'll let us out again soon. God knows when it will be. But meanwhile, thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe if you're still with me. And I will be picking up the new collector's cabinet next week. So hopefully we'll have something to show you very soon. Keep safe, everyone, and don't get too wound up about things. And I'll see you soon. Okay, bye.